Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And we pray that all unity may one day be restored, and they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. We shall walk with each other, we shall walk hand in hand. We shall walk with each other, we shall walk hand in hand. And together we spread the news that God is in our land. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. Just have a seat there. I advertised this morning as being on excellence. This day you have made. What a marvelous job you have done. May we enter into the reality of your presence. I got my months mixed up and I had excellence. But I have to say, when I pulled out the order of service which I prepared earlier in the week, the next month, I realised the date was wrong, and then I looked at the one I had prepared for today and I saw enthusiasm. I was encouraged because this is probably, by the end of the day I hope, your favourite virtue. This will be your favourite virtue, I'm sure. So let's begin. Just bow our heads and we'll say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and power, and glory forever. Most of us would know the ancient story of Abraham leaving Chaldea, or his father's land, to go into a strange land. Most of us would know that story for sure. And if you don't, you only have to think back to yourself in a moment in your life where you had to leave somewhere that was home and you were going to move to somewhere that wasn't home. Back in those days, you would look for fertile land. Abraham went into the land and he looked for fertile land. He went where God directed him. But later on, with the dispute with Lot, Lot got the lower land and Abraham took the higher land. One of the things Abraham did was dig wells. Lot, you can have the lower land where all the water is. I know how to dig wells. Today, you want to know how to dig wells. If you learn to dig wells in your life, you'll never be in dry times. I'd go so far as saying you will never be in dark times either. You may have dark moments, but you'll discover that you carry a light inside you. Each one of us carry a light inside us, and we forget the light exists. If you learn to dig wells, you tap into the water. But if you start to do this regularly in your life, you're going to discover those wells will actually turn into rivers. Enthusiasm is a river. I would say that it is the very river of heaven itself flowing into our lives. The very first story in the Bible, Adam and Eve, they had a garden where 4 rivers meet. four corners of heaven. So my goal today is to see if I can help all of us learn to exercise the enthusiasm in a way your life, your cup is overflowing and your life is abundant. Let's begin. Enthusiasm is the breath of inspiration coming from spirit. The word literally means God breathed and comes from the Greek word enthusiamos, from enthus, meaning possessed by a God, inspired. Think of all the Greek stories, where they had all these people who could do great things. Well, they either are a god, or they were a child of a god, or they were possessed by a god. They had an idea. The people who could do great things. And that's you today. You're all doing great things in your life. It's true. And it's enthused means to be inspired and feel the breath of God. Breath of God. When this virtue takes hold of our life and guides us, we can enter into each day excitedly, looking forward to the great gifts that the divine wishes to reveal in us moment by moment. Enthusiasm allows us to engage in life's activities with our whole being. Give it a hug. I used to work with children and children with difficult behaviours. You always give them a side hug. It was the right thing to do, a side hug. But it was never quite as uplifting as a hug. You've got to open both arms and you've got to fully embrace, don't you? Isn't it? A hug. Enthusiasm gives you the hug of life. It does. It gives you that ability to really embrace whatever it is you're going through in life. When this virtue takes hold of our life and guides us, we can enter into each day excitedly looking forward to the great gifts that the divine wishes to reveal in us moment by moment. Enthusiasm allows us to engage in life's activities with our whole being. Half-heartedness cannot exist in the presence of this virtue. Isn't that wonderful? Feeling half-hearted? Get some more enthusiasm. How, Darren? Well, I'm going to talk about that. You can't be half-hearted and enthusiastic. It doesn't work. But not only that, nor can you be struggling with fear of the future, future anxieties, or lament over the past. You want to learn to be in the now? You're really talking about learning to be an enthusiastic person, which is kind of an oxymoron, if you think about it. And oxymoronic. The very peace that we long for, the very stillness that we long for, comes out of activity, a different kind of activity, an influx of spiritual power. Think about the times where you've been most peaceful in your life. Was it sitting on a beach, drinking a pina colada? Maybe nothing wrong with that. But truly, you will have been most peaceful when you're actually engaged in life, doing what you love, and there's no labour in it. You've entered the seventh day. Isn't it? You've entered the seventh day where you're active, but it's bliss. It's the activity of love. Okay, so you can have no half-heartedness, you can't have future anxiety, you can't lament past failings when you're in enthusiasm. Exciting thought, really, isn't it? Let me read the other passage here from the writings. I thought about this morning. I've got to read this to you. Secrets of Heaven 4:2493. I have spoken to angels about the memory of things past and about consequent anxiety concerning things of the future. And I have been informed that the more interior and perfect an angel, the less do they care about the things of the past or even think about the things of the future. Who'd like a bit more of that? I could do with a bit more of that, isn't it? To live in the now, not be anxious about the bills, or troubled over all the times I said that thing I shouldn't have said, or did that thing I shouldn't have done. Just living in the now. It says, they have said, oh, this is a bit here, the more interior an angel, the less they care about the things of the past or the things of the future. And this is also the origin of their happiness. Their happiness comes from not worrying about the future and lamenting over the past. That's real happiness. Yeah. They have said that the Lord provided them every moment what to think,
accompanied by blessings and happiness, and this being so, they have no care and no worries. So it's not like they're mindless, but the divine is flowing in, moment by moment, and they don't have to worry about where their next dopamine hit's coming from. What's the next stimulation? What's the next excitement that's going to happen in their life? They just know they're in the flow and it's going to come. And I'm convinced more than ever we're meant to live in that now. Now. Are we going to always be able to live there? Maybe not. But the more you learn to dig your wells, the more you're going to be lapping up the river. Okay, so instead we are filled each moment with all the delights possible in each and every situation. That's great. Think of all the opportunities you've been in where you were so worried about something you couldn't enter into the delight of it. And then it was gone. That moment was gone. We see the potential good available and we refuse to focus on any possible losses. Enthusiasm will not allow you to focus on the losses. It'll allow you to see all the opportunities happening in front of you. Okay, so this is the part where you help me now. So, tame your life. Take a moment examining your life. Tame your life. Andrew, would you mind? Go on.
Think about how enthusiasm alters the way you feel towards activities, goals, and the future. If you were able to approach everything with a God-given enthusiasm, what might be the result?
What might be the result? If you could enter, what about catching yourself in an anxious moment and deciding, no, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to use this energy in a positive way. Now, I'd lie to you if I said coming up and speaking in front of people is easy. I enjoy it, but I can still feel butterflies nearly every time I get up. But I tell myself, that's just the excitement of getting the opportunity to share something really special. And every time I tell myself that, I feel this excitement. I feel enthusiasm instead of anxiety. And I learned that one that's what sports careers people do. You hear these people interview, they won the gold medal. Were you anxious or worried? No, I was excited. They're saying it like a mantra. It's actually, they're taught. That energy you're feeling is excitement. So the way you think about your feelings changes everything. Next time you're feeling anxious, tell yourself, I'm excited, something good's coming. And just watch and see how that energy turns around for you. You can start to tap into a bit more enthusiasm. Instead of sitting there and tearing the seat apart because the boss called you in for a conversation. You don't know what it's going to be about. You finally go in there and he just says, look, I just want to tell you what the job is. And you ruin your whole morning turning the energy into something negative. Okay, Gabe, would you mind reading the definition there of enthusiasm?
Strong excitement about something, strong feeling of active interest in something that you like or enjoy, intense and eager enjoyment, interest or approval.
Eager enjoyment. What's something that stands out for you? David, what's a word that stands out?
Well, eager enjoyment.
Oh no, of any of those definitions of
Yeah, well, helping.
Helping? Helping, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Who wants, so you ask someone, can you help me? And I'm like, oh, do I have to? Or someone who jumps up and says, let me do it. Isn't it? There's that helping, that enthusiasm that's just exciting. It's contagious. Anyone else? A word jump out at you? Yeah.
Intense.
Intense? That's good. I like that, intense. Yeah, because we talked earlier about peace is not inactivity. Let's move on. Let's read the synonyms. Go on, Gay, one more time the synonyms for us.
Ardor, devotion, eagerness, emotion, energy, feeling, fervor, frenzy, fury, intensity, interest, joy, passion, spirit, warmth, zeal, activity, ability, conviction, praise, dash, earnestness, ecstasy, exhilaration.
Whew, good words. I'm getting more enthusiastic by the moment.
Satisfaction.
Go on, David. Nice and loud, they're antonyms. The opposite now. Think about these opposites.
Apathy, calm,
calmness, coolness, disinterest, inactivity, indifference, laziness, lethargy, peace.
Not the peace we're looking for, but peace. Yeah, peace, you know. Your mate rings you up and says, I'm going down to this march. You know, I really believe in this. Will you come with me? Oh, look, I'm having a nice, peaceful day off here. Do I really have to? So there's a sense here where our apathy for peace or just quietness can be the opposite of what we need. Not necessarily a negative thing, but real peace. The peace that you are longing for is an energy that flows in and it makes you active. But it's a joyful active. Okay.
The calm and enthusiastic. I'm not sure I like calmness in there. Pettiness.
No. These are straight from the dictionary. I didn't write it.
Average dictionary.
No, yeah. I think that was the Webster, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I probably told you this before, but the way I put this together, this order of the service, I start with dictionary definitions. Then we go into quotes about how the world views enthusiasm. Then I throw in a few spiritual quotes from the Bible, and then I finish with what the writings say. And what I'm doing is I'm lifting our vision from a natural form of enthusiasm to this energy that flows in from heaven, what real enthusiasm is. You know, evil is enthusiastic too, isn't it? Evil is very enthusiastic. As I said, enthusiasm is a river. It picks you up, it carries you, it catches people. It's a river. And evil can be such too. Yeah, Trevor?
The enthusiasm in evil, only a synonyms there where it's craze. I tend to see the evil having craze of enthusiasm, where I don't see it as a synonym type of.
Exactly.
It's the it's.
See, we need the balance, don't we? Our brain is a left brain and a right brain. So we need love, but we need wisdom as well. We need both. One on it. Lots of love is great. Lots of passion is great. But passion without a bit of wisdom to steer it is like the boat without that little rudder, isn't it? Actually, 6 days you were created to work, and the 7th day you were to rest. 6 days, it's like we're paddling upstream. 7th day, it's like we figured out where we're really going, and we're letting the energy take us. We're no longer fighting against your calling. You've now discovered your calling, and you're going with it, flowing with it. That's why it's rest, but it's full of activity and excitement, enthusiasm, yeah? So I'll start with Roald Dahl, and then I'll throw a few more out at you. I like Roald Dahl, it's great. I began to realise how important it was to be enthusiastic in life. He, my Uncle Oswald, taught me that if you are interested in something, no matter what it is, go at it at full speed ahead. Embrace it with both arms. There's that hug. Hug it, love it, and above all, become passionate about it. Lukewarm is no good. Hot is no good either. Hot is no good either. White hot. Passionate is the only thing to be. He's saying be so hot about what you love that no one can dampen it. That's good. We've all had someone dampen our enthusiasm, haven't we? Yeah, that's a real buzzkill, isn't it? You know, when someone dampens your enthusiasm.
And
Yeah.
we do.
Sorry again?
We do it.
We do it to others, we do it to ourselves.
And then vested interests.
Yeah. Oh, the number of times you are arguing with God and you don't even know you're doing it. I was trying to build you up inside, and you're arguing with Him in your head.
Yeah. Also, lukewarm goes with calmness.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice, Andrew. Calmness. A wrong kind of calmness.
But
I
it's
think-
also a good because I thought
Yeah.
you said that in, I thought, well, I've been that sort of Zen state when I've been painting. In fact, it was with that tree of life. There was a period when it was calm because I was writing
In the zone.
in that zone. It was very calm.
That is the calm. We're going to read some quotes in a moment. That is the calm of heaven. The calm of heaven is you're in the zone. You're in the flow. And that's a much better place for us to live. That's our goal, is to live there all the time. And it's not that hard. The problem is we haven't learned to dig the wells. Let's go back to Abraham, right? As he wandered around the promised land, it didn't matter where he wandered, he was feeding his sheep, because he knew how to dig wells. But actually, if you count the number of wells he dug, I can't remember, something like 100, was it? No, or maybe 5 according, but his son dug half that. And then his grandson dug half that again. See, there's no grandchildren in the kingdom of God. You have a direct relationship or you don't. If your relationship with the divine is coming because of mum, dad, the guy down the street, it doesn't quite work, does it? You kind of half the wells, half-hearted. But you'll find Isaac and particularly Jacob had their own encounters with the divine, and it changed who they were. It really changed who they were. So digging our wells, learning how to dig our wells so that we can tap the strength. A farmer will tell you, if he's got a really good bit of land, they'll find a place where the hill's really green, and they'll tap a well there because they know that when you get enough rain, it'll burst out and become a spring. There's an underwater channel there, and it's waiting for enough rain to burst out. So we dig these wells, and when there's enough rain, we're going to have these wells turn into rivers in your life. Okay, so we'll go Ian, would nice and loud for us. Roy T. Bennett. No, you know, okay. Ken, nice and loud for us. Roy T. Bennett.
Enthusiasm can help you find new doors, but it takes passion to open them. If you have a strong purpose in life, you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there.
Yeah, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink, can you? Wrong. You forgot to salt the horse. Salt it first, then lead it to the water, and you won't have to push it. Isn't it? And it's kind of like Roy's saying here, God's got doors around you all the time. We just miss them because we're not getting the push. We're missing the push. There's a push when you're dealing with a river, isn't it? You're going to lower the bucket, pull it out yourself. There's work. But when it pushes, it's just, wow. It's exciting. Okay. So, Di, would you read for us Oliver?
It's faith in something and enthusiasm for something that makes a life worth living.
Faith in something and enthusiasm for something. There's the two parts of the brain again, isn't it? There's wisdom, there's love. You need those two. You need those two working together. Pablo there, Deb?
Always remember to take your vitamins. Take your vitamin A for action, vitamin B for relief, vitamin C for confidence, vitamin D for discipline, vitamin E for enthusiasm.
That's a multi-vitamin, isn't it? a bit of everything going on in there, isn't it? Yeah. I like that. Action, belief, confidence, discipline. Oh, don't forget enthusiasm. Vitamin E. Good for your skin too. Right, scriptural quote. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatsoever thy hand find to do, do it with all thy might. If we can't do it with all thy might, maybe just don't do it. 2 Corinthians 9:2. For I know your eagerness to help. David, I know your eagerness to help. And I have been boasting about you to the Macedonians, telling them that since last year you and Acacia were ready to give, and your enthusiasm has stirred most of them to action. That idea that enthusiasm is contagious, a good contagion, isn't it? You know, there is the virus of evil, and there is the virus of life. We want to be a virus of life, don't we? Yeah. Andrew, do you want to do another reading for us?
2 Corinthians 9:7. Every man accordingly as he purposed in his heart. So let him give, not grudgingly. Necessity. God loves a cheerful.
God loves a cheerful giver. It's like that person we were talking about earlier who said, "Who can give me a hand with this?" And they went, "Oh, do I have to?" You sort of feel like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, how boring. Do we have to have someone like that? And then the other person says, "Let me pick me. I'll do it." We all love someone that gives cheerfully. Don't give if you can't give cheerfully. Your whole life is meant to give. You were created created to love and to help others. We came here to love, to help others. And we get so caught up in our own satisfaction and pleasure sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. But we came here to love and to support each other. Do it cheerfully. And will Alison mind reading? Do you want to read for us?
Yeah, okay. Is that Colossians?
Yeah, that's Colossians.
Colossians 3:23. And whosoever ye do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men.
Okay, there's a good key to staying enthusiastic. When you look into the eyes of another person, I just met Paul this morning. How you doing, Paul? Right. I look into Paul, I should see the divine. Not just Paul. I should see the divine and his lovely partner there. You should see the divine. And what happens when you have a practice of doing that is that you automatically come with love. And you want to bless them and do things for them. Because you see the divine, you actually see the person. So next time you're struggling to do something for someone, stop and look in their eyes. And tell yourself, they are not the only one looking at me right now through those eyes. Isn't it? Wow. That'll get your enthusiasm going. It's not just Andrew looking at me right now, the divine is looking at me through Andrew's eyes right now. Wow. So there's an enthusiasm going.
I was thinking about the disciples' enthusiasm which went astray when
Went astray. Enthusiasm that went astray, yep.
two of them wanted the Lord to rain thunder and lightning down on the villages which were not received you, weren't receptive. Their enthusiasm was there, but it was very misguided enthusiasm.
Yes.
Because I think flip around and see the enthusiasm of the other disciples who left everything and just went and followed him. You know, they saw something there that was wonderful and gave up their boats.
That's such a good story. Ian's talking about the time the disciples wanted to bring punishment on some village, and it was misguided enthusiasm. And as you were saying that, I thought of the man that had legions of spirits. When those spirits came out and he was in his right mind, he enthusiastically said, I want to follow you. Who wouldn't want to follow someone? Who wouldn't want to follow someone that's doing incredible things? The Lord said, it's okay. Go back to your village. Now that's, if you just took 10,000 spirits, evil spirits out of someone, you want to keep them close to make sure they're okay. But the Lord said, no, go back to your village and share what's happening. So
Because they took effective there.
That's guided enthusiasm. Guided, guidance. The soul warrior is all about guidance. The seventh step to the soul warrior is guidance. Is being a watcher. You're watching. You're being in the now and you're observing. And then one of your pieces of armour begins to buzz. You pay attention to it. You listen to what it's doing. About anything. And when the armour buzzes, you get it. You go, oh, yep, there we go. I turned the ringtone up, so I didn't miss it. Okay, so where were we up to? Secrets of Heaven. Now listen, this is beautiful. People in whom charity is present. By the way, charity is really just enthusiasm. It's the right kind of enthusiasm. People in whom charity is present think nothing else than good of the neighbour, and speak nothing but good. And this not for their own sake, or that of him, which they may seek to curry favour, but from the Lord, thus at work within charity. So I look at Paul's eyes and say, the divine is there. I want to bless the divine in Paul. I'm not trying to manipulate Paul. I want him to bless him and bless the Lord.
Glad someone recognises me. That last.
Good on you, Paul. Yeah, it's a good name, by the way, Paul. So it's not motivated by manipulation, which is often what, in our early spiritual stages, we're motivated by manipulation. What can I get from another person? It's about what can I enhance and bless in that person. And the Lord's there, and I love them. I love the Lord, and I love them, and you want to enhance that. So there's that charity, always look for the good. The former are like evil spirits, those that don't look for charity, say. The latter like angels residing in someone. Evil spirits never do anything else than stir up a person's evils and falsities and condemn him. Oh, we all have, I should say friends, we all have people like that in our lives, don't we? Every time we get around them, they're either stirring up a controversy or they're picking the hell out of you, or in you, I don't know, you choose. But they're just having a go at you. Help them, Lord. Help them to choose life. Evil spirits never do anything else but stir up a person's evils and falsities and condemn him. Angels, however, stir up nothing but goods and truths. And the things that are evil and false, they excuse. Isn't that nice? That's beautiful, isn't it? And you think about, okay, if it's not a grievous evil, that's fine. But if there's just something that's a bit selfish going on in your life, and you keep ignoring it, and you focus on the good that that person's doing, you're going to get more good out of that person. They will respond. When I was working with children, again, with difficult behaviours, I learned very quickly that children are naughty and create problems because sometimes getting negative attention from an adult is better than no attention. So you reward the good, just ignore the bad. Now the quote on the back, thank you. Anyone else? Trevor, would you like reading the quote on the back? Just jump the numbers. Of the context, before you read, Trevor, the context of this is from the scriptures when Moses set up camp next to a well. Now I said to you earlier, learn the scriptures, every time the scriptures talk about wells, it's talking about us learning to tap into the divine. Us learning to do things and tap into the divine. So go ahead, Trevor, and read the quote.
And he dwelt next to a well, means an eagerness there for the word. This is clear from the meaning of dwelling as leading a life, dealt with immediately above in the previous one.
Yes.
Here an eagerness belonging to that life, and from the meaning of a well, as the word, dealt with in those numbers. The word is something called a well, at other times a spring.
Okay, just stop for a second. So the word is sometimes called a well and other times a spring. Now the Bible, the Logos, the real life in it is more than just literal words on the page. It's tapping into it. So when you're reading it and it's just coming at you in the literal sense, it's a well. But when you read it and it starts to speak to you on that deeper level, right into your inner man, and you know when it's speaking to you on that level, because you get guidance, the guidance that you need. The watchman knows how to see the guidance and obey, because you win battles that way. But when you're reading the word on a literal level, you're digging a well. I said to you earlier, when you learn to dig more wells, you're going to end up, you're going to start bursting forth. A little later in your life, you're going to burst forth into rivers. And you will be carried along by the joy of life. I tell the truth. Every day I wake up, I'm not always enthusiastic. I get in the shower, I start to wash up, I start to meditate, and I think about things, and I get so excited. Things are bubbling up in me that are so exciting. I read some scripture, and I cannot read it without the spiritual sense coming forward. It always comes forward, and it comes forward in ways that you just, no man could orchestrate, the confirmations that you're seeing, and it leads you on your path. We each carry the light in here, and we just so often don't tap into it. You learn to dig the well. And I remember being a young man and coming to know the Lord and thinking, the Bible? I thought that was a silly old book. It is the most mystical book on the planet. So many Christians are just missing it. Tap the well, and out of you is going to burst forth rivers. So keep going there, Trevor.
Just adding to what you were saying there, a well, the water is still.
fill.
And you have to put in some effort or work to obtain the water.
That's
A
right.
spring,
Yep.
a spring
Yes.
is without any effort on your part, giving and
Day
giving and giving.
That's day 7 there, isn't it? Celestial man, day 7. It's just flowing in there.
Yes.
Oh, give us more of that. Say to me, Lord, teach me your ways, that I may know rest and peace and the river of the divine. Yeah. That's good. So, do you want to keep reading, Trevor? Yeah. We're almost there.
Where are we? Called a spring. The word, as it as to its internal sense.
You missed one sentence there. Jump back one sentence.
When it is
Oh,
called.
It's all right.
When it is called.
Oh, okay. When it is called a well, the word as to its literal sense is meant. But when it is called a spring, the word as to its internal sense is meant.
There's that push, there's that flow you're talking about, Trevor.
Here Moses said, to dwell next to the well, because the word as to its literal sense is what is meant. For the sense is the first that those people have who are being regenerated and making progress towards God's truth.
Okay, so we all start as Moses by the well. We're all starting at the state called Moses by the well. And if we stay there, eventually, working with that, we will come back into the garden when the 4 rivers converge, we were talking about earlier. Right, so who wants a garden on the inside? Yes, we want that river converging in us, don't we? No more of the bucketing out. There's nothing wrong with the bucketing. You learn to get strong arms and strong muscles of bucketing. You know, and it's better than being dry.
The strong arms and bucketing, which Trevor mentioned about a well,
Well,
that we have to pull the rope or whatever.
yes, that's right.
I'd just like to, the well, yes, give you an example. I had an email from somebody I know in the Philippines, and a long email, and I didn't feel very enthusiastic this week to reply to it. I thought, well, this is not right, because if I was that other person, I would like a fairly prompt reply. So I sat down and I started to reply. I didn't think at first I'd have much to say to them, but actually I had well over a page of reply from them. I found it all flowed. And that reminds me of a teaching we've got, that action comes first.
Influx follows action.
Follows. And so sometimes we've got to pull the rope quite hard to get the flow going.
Yes. Action follows influx. If you've got your partner here...
No, action follows...
Sorry, influx follows action. If you've got your partner here, just take a moment to turn to them and just say, I love you. Just act. Now what's happening on the inside of you? See what's happening? See, I got you to act, and now there was a gush, there was a flush, there was a river. So often we're wanting God to move, and God says, I'm waiting on you. Because you are my arms and my legs. But when we learn to do it in the Lord's strength, watch out. Good luck to the person who gets in your way if you're doing something in God's strength. So, influx follows action. Thank you, Ian. I nearly messed it around there. Yeah. So we finished that. That's good. Have a look at the card. The best is yet to come on the card. I put the best on the card. It's small writing. This is definitely becoming one of my favourite verses. I've got lots of them, but this is becoming one of my favourite verses. Enthusiasm is the inspiration of the divine, filling one with insight and life. Both of them. Insight on how to do it, and the energy and passion and life to go out and do it. 2 Timothy 2:15, do your best to present yourselves to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. Oh, there's been so much wrong handling of the word of truth. How many people use the truth like a sword and kill each other with it, and condemn each other, and attack each other, and pull each other down, instead of building each other up like the angels do? Anyway, use it rightly. Your sword is for the enemy, and you should never have your brother's blood on it. passage. Wow, look at this here. Conjugal Love 207. The enjoyment of use. So what the enjoyment of use? Your high calling. You were created with a high calling. Some of you are coming into it already. Some of you have been playing with it and don't know what that high calling is. I can say my high calling is to, well, it's your high calling too, is to be a light. You know, I'd happily go and leave the planet now. So much nonsense here. But I'm really happy every day to get up and be here, to be a light, to encourage, hopefully encourage you, to encourage, to be a light, and to help others. That's my calling, and it's yours too, but you're going to learn to walk in it in your own unique way. That's what it means by the enjoyment of use. Everyone in heaven has the enjoyment of use, the use that they activate into. The enjoyment of use carries one along as a favouring current. There's your river. A favouring current, as does a ship. And it causes one to be in eternal peace. Oh, peace, your peace you give us, Lord. The world cannot take it. To be in eternal peace and in the rest of peace. It's a rest because you're being pushed by the river. You're not bucketing anymore. You're being pushed by the river. Wow. Give us more of that, Lord. Give us more of that. This is meant by eternal rest from labours. I mean you're sitting around on a cloud playing a harp in heaven. It means you are active, building cities, building communities, teaching, having families. All these things go on in the heavens. But you're in the flow of the divine. How exciting is that? So you're not labouring, you're loving. Leave the labour and love. That an angel is alive according to the eagerness of his mind from use is very plain from the fact that every angel has conjugal love. Say after me, Lord, you give me conjugal love. Conjugal love is the energy and the enthusiasm of heaven that pushes you along into your use. Isn't that amazing? And he says here, with it there is virtue, potency, and delights, according to your eagerness, your eager application to the genuine use in which you are in. Wow. That's exciting. That's why the Soul Warrior is all about finding your high calling. Because that's where you tap it. That's where you're plugging into the divine and you're no longer doing it in your own strength. You've passed through the 6 days of labour and you've come into the celestial state. That's what we long for. That's what we need. So this month, take the opportunity, on the very back, take the opportunity to practice enthusiasm. With each engagement, try to approach the activity with a spirit of excitement. Look for the good in what you're doing. Resist all thoughts and feelings involved negative states. Aim for 100% success, knowing that life is a journey. And I love your story, Ian, because you said you thought of the other man, how he would want, you'd want a quick response if you were the other man, and suddenly the energy and enthusiasm came. Oh, I don't want to do this. Stop, put yourself in the other person's shoes, and you'll get past that. Tap the well. Okay. So if you're just now finished with me, let's open up and read the meditation statement inside together as one voice. I'm going to have a cup of tea. The meditation together. I give myself room to get excited about life. I remind myself that small and seemingly insignificant things have great importance and use. I am here to love others and inspire them to do so. I meditate upon eternity and enjoy the moment. I seek connection with the Lord so that I never cease to be in awe for the gift of life. I am thankful, Lord, for your gift of enthusiasm. It opens my soul to higher dimensions of this life. Amen.
So, I might add one back.
Yes, go. Please do.
Very poignant morning.
Spread the news that God is in our land, and they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love.
bless you, the Lord keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you his everlasting